Zaz, I don't totally remember the details on how it is that 790 stopped the local hour. It was.
I got screwed.
You got screwed when we stopped the local hour?
I don't remember what the scenario was, but remember I had an hour taken away from my show.
Well, that's when we got the local hour.
Okay.
Which part are you not understanding? It's the difference between losing the local hour when we had it. You just hear
This
local
isn't
hour.
about you. This is about our pain.
How dare you?
But he made it immediately about him, and it's not even about pain at all. Just I remember it was just weeks after ESPN had been trying to get me out of doing that for some reason. I don't even know why. Maybe just because I got worse as the day got longer, and they didn't want me giving the best hour to Miami when they wanted our best hours. But we had the group, the shipping container was doing the local hour for a period of time there, and they went out to Dolphin Camp and they did the show from Dolphin Camp and stuff. But I could not have foreseen from there that Mike Ryan, if you'd told me right then, Mike Ryan is going to be the guy who shows up at spring practices and just mills about watching the team practice. I would not have guessed from there that Mike, in his free time, not working, he doesn't have a lot of free time, would be the guy that would just go to practice to see, to get extra information on whether he thinks the receiver room is going to be better than it was last year.
And he does he walk around just milling about like a big mocker? Is that what's going on there?
On Saturday, your boy was on the field trailing the plays. Yeah, behind the 20 yards back, watching line play.
What did you call him? A big what?
Big macher. It's Yiddish. It means like he's a BMOC, you know?
Well, that sounds like he had some VIP access. Or were you just part of? How many fans are out there now? Is there? It's certainly
on Saturday, it was actually really cool to see because Mario had the entire youth system of the Tri-County area in there to watch practice because recruiting starts at a very young age now. And, dude, it was the coolest thing to watch Malachi Toney just strolling in front of these kids and to watch these kids just think he was the most famous person on the planet and to watch him be respectful of everybody. We got that kind of juice now. We got a superstar like that to these kids.
Mario was at UFC on Saturday night. They showed him on the pay-per-view and everything.
He got a huge pop. I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, you guys are wondering, this is all a setup to talk about Ruben Bain, and it is.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Is everyone a little slow today? I'm surprised that Tony didn't eviscerate Zaz for his first words of the work week to be hearing the opposite of what I'd asked him, the direct opposite, not listening at all and making the shadow show entirely about him when I was trying to get to Ruben Bain.
Yeah, I'm choosing to be kinder this week, right? Me and Zaz were at the UFC over the weekend. We had an incredible time, met his son. We had a bunch of good conversations. And one of them, I picked up something that Zaz said to me while he's eating a pizza where me and Lewis were sitting. And he said, man, I really messed up this week, huh? And that registered in my brain. I'm like, ooh, I think Zaz feels bad in a way that I don't. So I'm going to be nicer to Zaz this week.
I couldn't let it go, Dan. It stuck with me. It was stuck in my craw.
I was like, what happened? Oh, yeah, you asked a stupid question.
That's right.
But so you started this week by answering the opposite of the question I was asking.
Well, no,
you?
what happened there was...
I asked you, do you remember when we lost the local hour? And your answer was when we got the local hour.
Well, no, what happened there was you were bringing up something from the OG days, from $7.90 the ticket, and that always... I get excited when you're about to start talking about $7.90 tickets. So I'm sorry, I overstepped it. I got excited. I like talking about the old days.
Okay, but let's talk about it while also listening.
Yeah.
And not making it about you, but speaking...
But about me is good.
But speaking of the OG days, though, I didn't think that I would get a chance. I don't remember. Mike, do you remember? Maybe Roy remembers. How did Give Me Back My Son become something that we were playing around here all the time? I do remember loving the movie Ransom.
Oh, what a movie.
But it's a 90s movie. It feels like, or is it a 2000s movie? And we were obsessed for a while with the way Mel Gibson shouted in that movie, Give Me Back My Son. And I just didn't think we'd get a chance to revisit the library of sound that we have around Give Me Back My Son. But I also don't remember where this whole story started.
It started because we were taking fakes and we had a phone caller call us fake Mel Gibson in the movie Ransom, said, "Give me back my son." We all laughed, and then we added that sound to the Suey montage.
That's awesome.
We had Randy Moeller during the Panthers days before it is that they were winning Stanley Cups, when you can get away with doing these things with the local franchise. We had Randy Moeller shouted after a goal.
Booth walks up the boards, dumps it back in behind the net to Zednik. Zednik's there. Double team. Comes right to Nathan Horton. He fires. He shoots. He scores! Nathan Horton! Give me back my son! Panthers with a 3-0 lead. Oh, pinch me, Billy.
Nostalgia in that sound. Richard Zednik almost died on the ice. Yeah. And I think David Booth is still playing hockey, but in Australia, and he's like Wayne Gretzky over there.
Remember what they called that Horton Booth Weiss line?
No.
Sawgrass Express.
Oh, really? Do you remember the CPR line with Ville Peltonen?
Yes, of course.
Oh, you guys are going to be hurting in April and May this year. You two are going to be hurting. You can geek out on
What do I do with all
hockey.
this free time?
You can watch the NBA playoffs. You can.
Boy, are they going to be good.
The entire weight of the league rests on Wemby and Jokic's shoulders for that Spurs-Nugget series.
Which one are you excited about, Tony? Because we really do. Look, I don't know how you guys feel about basketball in general right now.
like
because, but you say you like it, but the narrative in the entire season, and this I've got to think this is something that doesn't have precedent in major American sports. The narrative the entire season is some form of these guys are not trying, they don't care. These teams are not trying, they don't care. I've just never seen a sports league endure that as the narrative for the year, so that yesterday on the last day of the season, $2.5 billion in salary is sitting. Almost 200 players sit yesterday on the last day of the season as they get you ready for these playoffs. But at the top of the first round, LeBron's got to go in the Wayback Machine. He's got to get them out of a first-round series playing that Cavs ball where it's just like he's not that good in the half court. He's not the same player in the half court. He's great in transition. But in half court, he can't be the same player. And so now it's going to be, can he hit Kennard 8 times a game on passes? Because they're going to be playing something similar to that Cavs style of basketball when he had to take 35 shots a game.
Yeah, and he's not built for that. But damn, I'm looking up and down. This might be the greatest Western Conference playoffs that we've ever seen. Because of all the storylines, because of all the players that are in it, right? You've got KD versus LeBron in the 4-5 matchup. No Luka, no Austin Reeves. They may come in later on if the series gets extended. But those two are the biggest names, and they're playing each other for the 4 and 5 seed. The Thunder could play the Clippers, could play the Warriors. We've got Nuggets and Timberwolves. The Nuggets tanked the last 2 games and then ended up winning. They didn't want to see the Timberwolves. They wanted to be in the 4-5 matchup. So there's so many things happening in this Western Conference playoffs that it's like this might be the best one we've ever seen.
Can I tell you something that I can't get past? And I don't know, maybe it's not a big deal because we're talking about the number 1 seed and like they're supposed to be the best team. So Detroit, Oklahoma City, but every other team is they know their playoff matchup 4 or 5 days in advance. They could practice, they could study, film, all of that. The Thunder and the Pistons, the best teams in their respective conferences, don't find out their opponent until Friday before they play on Sunday. That doesn't seem very fair.
I'm going to put a pin in that because you'll remember we started with "Give Me Back My Son," and I want to get back to it. But put a pin in it. Good
start, though. Good start to the combo.
I will allow a fun basketball conversation, but I don't want to lose the opportunity to go into the Wayback Machine and also perhaps to explain to the audience that didn't go way back with us why I'm talking about "Give Me Back My Son" off of the top because I still haven't said it. Also, Frank Caliendo, as I recall, Roy, had an assortment of "Give Me Back My Sons." I don't remember which characters he was doing them in, but do we have the sound of Frank Caliendo doing an assortment of characters? Go ahead and play that for me.
Give me back my son! I think it's time to give me back my son, man.
I'd like to hear Jim Rome say it.
Give me back my son!
John Madden?
Give me back my son, boom.
Yeah, a little boom in there, really punchy.
Not the way you were thinking I was going to do it, was it?
Not the way I thought. It sounded like
I like to go different ways. Give me back my son, boom.
You know what you're gonna do? Give me back my son. Give me. My son, go on. Give me back. Thanks, Mayor.
How about Pacino?
Give me back my son.
How is African Madden? How would he do it?
Yo, give me back my son. Give me back my son. Give me back my son.
That needed some editing. There are dangers in going into the Wayback Machine. Give me the sound of Mel Gibson saying it the way that he said it in the what year is the movie, Jeremy? Ransom.
Gotta be late 90s.
It's 96.
Okay.
It's presently on Ted Knight's wiki.
Yeah, I was a year old, and this Ted Knight person died in 1986.
This Ted Knight person.
Play the sound of Mel Gibson doing it.
Give me back my son.
It's an iconic movie line.
You think?
Absolutely.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju at Le Batard Show. Is Give Me Back My Son an iconic movie line? So the reason I bring all this up, this heckler was ejected. You can't do these things at the Masters, right? This was a person whose swing did he interrupt? And we'll talk about Rory here in a second.
I think it was Rory.
Was it Rory's swing? Okay. So it is distracting. I don't know if Rory's a fan of the movie Ransom, but it is distracting.
Give me back my son.
Hugging the left. He's keeping an eye on it. It is down the left side, just like yesterday here at 17.
Can't be distracting if it's after the shot. So
Backswings and all that. But, yeah, it was a bad drive. But the crazy thing about Rory's performance was he actually didn't drive the ball accurately, really at all.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys something about the one advantage I don't know that a lot of people are talking about today that McIlroy had. I just simply want to put it out there, this idea, because he won them back-to-back, and I'm assuming that many of you were assuming he was going to choke when it looked like he was choking. He had the best two-day lead that there's ever been at the Masters, and the reputation he had before winning that Masters was what happened on the third day to him. But he was resilient, obviously, on the last day, and it's got to be scary to have Scheffler chasing you. But the thing I wanted to ask you guys is, the rest of the tour is in Texas last week, and Rory's in Jupiter. He's got a house in Jupiter, and he's also got a $50 million private plane. So what was he doing? He was flying to Augusta to practice on the course, and then flying home for dinner.
Wow.
And so I ask you, is that worth a stroke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that worth one stroke of advantage? The fact that the guy who's won the Masters twice in a row has a $50 million plane that allows him to go back and forth like you would drive from Miami to West Palm because he can make the trip in 90 minutes. And he was practicing the course the week before while all the other guys were playing in Texas.
You know what's better than playing in Texas? Playing on the course that you're going to play on for the Masters.
But it's not like you weren't allowed. Like, he clearly is, all of them are clearly allowed to practice on the course if they can find the time, right?
Well, but they have another tournament. They have to be somewhere else working,
right?
Generally speaking.
Well,
like
they don't have to. They can choose to not, which is what.
But because he has the jet, he has the means to go and practice.
And because
there.
he's made a lot of money, it's not like, well, got to play the Valero.
It's awesome.
I wonder what the rules are, though, on the Masters. Can everyone come and practice if they like?
Yes.
You're a member?
Yeah. I don't think it's all that uncommon. I wouldn't be surprised if Rory wasn't the only person that did it.
It just sounds incredibly convenient that he has the means to do that.
Yeah, wealth does seem like it makes your life easier.
Being wealthy would be so cool.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. It is. I'm sorry. I was thinking about not making the joke because it's obnoxious. It's an obnoxious joke to make, but I thought it'd be funny. And then I'm looked at in the room. I'm like,
Big Malcolm over here.
And I missed my window. Yes, wealth is convenient, but $50 million plane wealth, that's a whole different thing. The idea that he was coming home for dinner every night. He's practicing the course, and he's having dinner with his family.
Still possible to do that with Flying Spirit.
To Augusta?
Yeah. You know, takes a little drive.
You think Augusta is going to? You think Spirit is going to get him back and forth as fast and as easy as and as conveniently as a private plane?
No. I know that much about Spirit and private aviation.
I love the
that
idea.
Difference.
I love the idea of Rory flying Spirit. Do you think he would get one of the seats up front? You pay a little bit extra. You can get more room.
The big seats, yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to assume he'd get one of the seats.
$9 fare club and all.
The ones that come with a seatbelt.
Folks, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listen, money stress. I feel like nobody really teaches you how to deal with it. You just kind of wake up one day, you look at your bank account, and you go, oh, cool, that's not ideal. And it's not just the money, it's everything around it. The overthinking, the bad sleep, the I'll deal with it later, which never works. A lot of people feel that, but don't really talk about it. And it can start affecting you, your mood, your relationships, just how you show up every day. Therapy isn't about financial advice. It's about handling the stress that comes with it, understanding your habits, where that anxiety comes from, and how to deal with it in a healthier way. With over 30,000 therapists and more than 6 million people served, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. And their sessions average 4.9 ratings from more than 1.7 million reviews. They match you based on a short questionnaire, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/DLB. That's betterhelp.com/DLB.
Hey, Roy, buddy.
Yo.
You know that energy shift when the game gets good and everybody, all together, in unison, knows to stand up on their feet?
Oh, absolutely, Mike.
Yeah, you've been at many big-time sporting events. You know that moment quite well. That's what it's like when you take your first sip of Cuervo.
Oh, delicious.
It's the signal that says, we're not checking the time anymore, pal. It's when small talk turns into stories. Cuervo, man, it's that high-five a random stranger effect. That's right. The game is popping. You're hugging people you never met before. That's the kind of energy that Cuervo brings. It's so smooth, so delicious. That's the Cuervo effect. Keep it Cuervo.
Folks, listen up. Quick break in the action. Are you counting down the days until payday? Instacash from Moneyline can help you access up to $500 of your hard-earned pay early. There's no interest, no credit check, and no monthly fees. So you can manage those in-between expenses with less stress. Download the Moneyline app and link your qualifying bank account to see what you qualify for. Moneyline. Make money easy. Instacash is subject to terms and eligibility requirements. Expedited delivery requires a turbo fee. See Moneyline.com.
Dan Le Batard.
But it's just his titties are sitting on the shelf that is his belly.
Stugotz.
You said titties, and it like shocked me a little bit. I wasn't quite prepared for titties.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
How did you feel about watching that? Were you rooting for him? Where were your rooting interests yesterday? Because the story around him is less interesting than it used to be. Conquering and excellence aren't quite as fun as wondering whether somebody is mentally frail or not.
I think that they're both super fun. They're both super fun. And
rooting for mental frailty.
Seeing a guy go back to back at Augusta is, that's something like if you look back, it's like a once in a generation type of deal. So it's hugely impressive.
It's happened only 4 times, right?
Yeah. Who was the last guy to do it? Tiger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
25 years ago.
Yeah, 25 years ago. It's insane. Blessed to see it. But I think everybody was kind of rooting for Rory to, or at least for the pack to catch up to Rory. And considering the second round that he had, that was only going to be possible with a little bit of a meltdown. It's the rare time where you can probably say, yeah, he did choke some. And then he showed resilience because he lost the lead. He had to come back. He was, on the same tee box as the guy that overtook him at one point.
But it looked like he was going to run away with it after Friday.
Yeah, and then he started melting down again, and Rory was kind of one of those guys that you're like, this guy can fold. He can get a little nervous. It's happened to him before.
I like that as a take, though, the idea that you could come out today and say, yes, Rory McIlroy, the Masters champion, did indeed choke.
Yeah. You could say the same thing about the Panthers.
Then he stopped choking.
Yeah.
No.
You could say the same thing about the Panthers from like 2 years ago. They absolutely choked. But they're champions.
Can you though? Yeah, if you is blowing a 3-0 lead and it becoming 3-3 is that choking?
I don't agree. No, I disagree. And just like I disagree with the idea that Rory choked. Choke implies that like you completed the choke.
No, but he did choke. On the third day, if I ask you, hey, Zaz, did he choke today?
No.
Did he choke today?
Okay, but what does today matter? It's like, hey, we choked in the last 3 minutes. We gave up a goal. Like what?
No, but if I asked you, he goes into day 3 with the biggest lead in the history of the Masters after 2 days, and you remember the one of those that Tiger won at like minus 19 or whatever. It was.
Yeah.
I thought it was surprising that the biggest lead ever after 2 days was on Saturday. And if I come up to you after, what was it, hole 11? If I come up to you and I say, if I say to you at the end of the day when he's no longer leading after having the biggest lead, did Rory choke today? What would your answer be?
My answer would be no, he had a bad third day.
No, it would just be like he just had to clear his throat. Just like a little... All right, that's it,
wrong
right?
pipe, little wrong pipe.
Yeah, like, can I get a glass of water?
Whereas the Panthers,
a little bit of water.
Whereas the Panthers against the Oilers was straight up like, is there a doctor here? Right. Is anyone a doctor?
Heimlich.
I think day 3 was yes. You're shouting in the restaurant. There's turning purple. There is people are
Greg Sankey's there.
It's like Peter Burns
hitting you on the
like
back.
Greg Sankey,
Yes,
just watching him.
Just
Greg
like
Sankey
that.
didn't even help, by the way.
Just all of it is just like that. That was Rory's day 3. He was turning purple and he couldn't breathe for 65 seconds. And if I came up to him and said, "Are you choking?" and he would just say, "Just a little bit, just a little bit. I'll be fine tomorrow. I won't be choking tomorrow. I'll be putting on the green jacket and I will be champion tomorrow."
Yeah,
In the meantime,
for a choke to happen, the end result has to be losing. Otherwise, I didn't choke.
That's
Okay.
not true.
I mean, that's sports
Is that
debate,
one
baby.
word?
I don't think that's true, but we will move on to other subject matter because we have a story that I think I can say is weird, okay? Weird for a handful of reasons, okay? Out of nowhere this weekend. It was reported right before the draft, and weirdly, not by any of the people who are investing in this. This was not a story that was known just about anywhere until it was reported. It's not. NFL teams are now aware of something that was a secret for a long time, and it's that Ruben Bain got into an accident at 4 o'clock in the morning that ended the life eventually of a 22-year-old woman who at the time suffered, suffered really permanent damage and then 3 weeks later died. And the report comes from a place that I've never heard of. The Read Optional is where this story starts. And I did not know what that was. I still don't know what that is. But when I read it, and I read the police reports, and I read that Ruben Bain was not tested for sobriety at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Ollie Connolly is a person that this story originated from. He once named the Duke one of the best insiders in the NFL. He's reputable though and breaks a lot of stuff.
I don't doubt it, but the part,
and this stuff is clearly factual.
It is factual. There are no questions about it. But the part about it to me that was surprising, or the most surprising, I guess, is that it stayed quiet. This happened when he was a sophomore, and it's coming out right now before the draft. And so when I read that story, and it's impossible, I think, to read that story without feeling it's awful, and it's got the hint of suspicious because it's been not talked about somehow and a secret to everybody when we can't keep any secrets anymore. Yeah. It's impossible to keep any secrets. And you're telling me that someone died in a car accident that Ruben Bain was in as a sophomore and nobody knew?
That part is surprising. There is a reaction like, wow, Miami kept this quiet. I'm not exactly sure how one goes about doing that. There was a citation here, but the citation was dropped. And when this happened...
Careless driving.
Yeah, and it was dropped. It should be noted that I think later in 2025, there was another time that Ruben Bain was cited for reckless driving, and that was also dropped. So nothing felonious here.
That time was reckless, because careless and reckless are different.
I forget. But either way, nothing happened. Like, this was also not careless driving in that after it went through the process, it was dropped. So he wasn't actually, but at the time he was. He was not given a field sobriety test at 4 a.m. I've seen some people questioning, like, how does that happen? I know how it stays quiet at Miami because nothing really happened here. But it wasn't possible to keep it quiet with Adarius Hayes, who killed, who was held on 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter. He was dismissed from the program. People knew about that. I was surprised, like the Andy Slaters of the world did not come out with something here. I did not know about this. I found out about it the same time everybody else did. I did know that I heard some chirps from people in the NFL, like, hey, they're poking in on some off-field stuff on Ruben. And I didn't think anything of it. And, yeah, I was shocked and sad to see this. There was a statement from the family that ended up wishing Ruben Bain the best throughout his life and his career. This is really unfortunate. And it's one of those things that comes out right before the draft, no doubt.
Oh, okay. So with him saying that last note, can I throw out there, like, is it possible that an NFL team leaks this? Because they want him to drop.
Yes, I read the article. It seemed like this was leaked from the NFL. And if you read that article, they also allude to there might be some other things that they're looking into with Ruben Bain. But, yeah, this was very clearly leaked.
That's so dirty.
By one of the teams in the process.
So, like, a team that drafts him because they want him, the team that drafts him may have been the one that leaked this information.
Yeah, there's all sorts of fan theories there. But, yeah, one of the takes that's out there is somebody wants him to drop.
I misspoke earlier in saying that no one knew about this. There was a lawsuit, it was settled, and so teams did know about it. But the family doesn't want to talk about it, didn't want to talk about it, and now is being asked questions about it.
I didn't see anything about a lawsuit, which is why, like, we would have known about that. I think that had there been a lawsuit, we definitely would have been known about it earlier.
He was cited at the time of the incident. Charges were dropped prior to her death. That was a few months after this crash. And the family released a statement through that same article, and what they said was Destiny's passing was the result of a tragic accident that occurred several years ago. While the loss remains incredibly painful for our family, we have worked hard to find peace and move forward. At this time, we are not seeking public attention surrounding this tragedy and respectfully request that our family's privacy be honored. We also wish Mr. Bain the best as he continues his life and career.
I mean, it's a tragic accident. Someone lost their life. If he was deemed responsible by authorities, number one, we certainly would have known it because that would have been something that would have been through the court system, and there's no way to hide any of that. This just seems like a really tragic, sad accident that he had to deal with. This happened before his sophomore season. Ruben Bain did have a rough sophomore season, probably weighed on him some.
Please look up for me whether Albert Breer has said that a lawsuit in Miami was settled at the time, because it may have been something that was just quieter than you think, because
there were 2 teammates in the car too, which is another aspect of this and makes it surprising that this was, not something that was out there.
And I will just I will correct Mike.
Yeah, Albert Breer does say that there was a lawsuit.
Yep.
I will just correct Mike when he says, just so that you don't think us indelicate, when he says nothing happened, nothing illegal was found to have happened.
Yeah, someone lost their life. Something awful happened.
That's correct. And 3 weeks after the accident, the family not wanting to talk about it is certainly understandable, but also if there was a lawsuit, that might be part of how it is that gets settled, so that the family doesn't talk about it because they cannot talk about it. All of it sounds awful, and I will just say again that I remain surprised that something like this could happen when he was a sophomore, and it largely escaped the attention of the public at a time when secrets are just not possible to keep anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just...
Well, the NFL draft brings all that stuff out, no doubt.
Dan Batard.
It sounds to me like everybody could use a hug, because a hug is always the right size.
Stugotz.
All I have put in my body today is 3 cups of coffee and an entire cup of honey.
Go to the penalty box.
Don't let him fool you. He said in the break that he's jittery.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
So how was spring practice while you were out there 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, breathing hot on the neck of these teenagers that you want to win you a championship?
Yeah,
That's how it was.
Hey, I believe Chase Smith is close to 30 years old, and so is Mo Toure. Yeah. Hey,
Mo Toure, very important.
Rest in peace. He died for us. Everyone
exactly
knows.
right. We'll never forget that, just like Roy.
Yeah. Spring games this weekend. Miami seems to be rolling with a true freshman at left tackle. You got to be a special talent to do that. Jackson Cantwell has been, as advertised, been incredible. Miami looks real good. Jordan Lyle continues to be a Green Tree Hall of Famer. Malachi Toney, different number. So at one point I had to look at my roster sheet and be like, who's number one? He's pretty good. That's not JoJo. And it was Malachi Toney. Again, superstar, total superstar. The wide receiver room is really impressive.
So just to be clear, you went out to practice on your off day.
Can confirm. Malachi Toney, good.
So, okay. So you reconfirm that. Roy, do you have Thank you.
That's why I'm one of the proprietors of Canes Insight, or Insight on that. By the way, we have a new app. Download it. It runs really smoothly.
Can they get you saying that Malaki is good?
All sorts of observations like that. Really, really, really keen observation from practice. Mensah stretched the field a little bit more this time, which was good to see. And I got to tell you, this Josh Moore kid, who played some last year, had a nice moment against USF as a true freshman. He has really leveled up. Yeah. And I think Cooper Barkade's going to have a lot of yards here, but if you're just dropping in and watching these guys, like, it's a testament to how good that room is, because the wide receiver, which was something that Miami was worried about last year, that room is totally leveled up.
He was good at Duke. Like
he was a 1,000-yard receiver, yeah, and he does not flash compared to the rest of that room. It is really, really good.
That's a big difference over the last 4 years, because I would say that outside of Malaki, they have been hurting there for 4 years, 4 straight years.
Well, Xavier Restrepo had a 1,000-yard season too and set the all-time school record when it came to receiving yards.
I'm talking about everything around them, though. I'm talking about who you trusted as a second receiver. You were talking about rooms. Like, I'm not. Yes, you're not wrong that they've had. I guess. I mean, Restrepo is a college star. That can't be questioned. But man, their number 2 and number 3 receivers for the last 3 or 4 years don't do anything in the way of separation.
No, when
statistics.
No, when C.J. Daniels went down, Miami really felt that, and you're wondering who was going to step up, and they really had a magical run in the postseason. You didn't really know what you were going to get outside of Malachi Toney. So I feel much better about the receivers now. The athletes are just ridiculous, dude, and the kids that are coming in for visits. They're gigantic.
Do you see the difference, though? Do you see the difference between what it is that you were watching 5 years ago? Jeremy, why are you laughing?
He says the kids, and it just brought me back to your question of, do you like breathing hot air on the neck of teenagers?
Good start.
Hot neck.
Good start. It's not a play.
Still a better start than Dan's question.
We don't have to put that on the poll.
It's all right. Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
I'm trying to be nicer, Dan.
Teenagers?
The play on for me.
Give me back my son!
It was a play on for you.
That's the same Mel Gibson from those tapes.
Tony, you really have turned over a new leaf. That's a play.
It's post-Easter, Dan. I'm trying to be nice.
That's a play on. That's a play. How can you...
Play on for me.
I mean, please cut that up for me. Did you guys hear that differently than I did? That is absolutely not a play on in any incarnation of this show, whether it's Easter, whether you're being nice. That has never in the history of our show been a play on. Look at Zaz. Zaz, we've got to start comparing some of these, because I think we've got an all-timer right there.
Hot neck was bad.
No.
I've just raised the bar on what you expect from me to be so high that when I mess up, it just feels more monumental. Hot neck, who cares?
That's not it.
Jeremy, I understand why you're deflecting there. I would also argue that...
But really, the guy from the tapes, that Mel Gibson.
I would also argue that you're working too much.
Me? No.
My wife actually said that when she saw Jeremy at the end of the Heat game last night. She was talking. You were talking to somebody, I forget who, one important, and she goes, "Wow, how many jobs does he have?"
4.
And you started this work week with that as the first thing that you said on the show, and it is not a play on. And Tony has fallen down on the floor laughing at the idea that he would even try and get away with saying that was a play on, because it doesn't suit you, this inauthentic, nice person.
Just a great start to the week.
Roy, do me the favor of grabbing for me some
Hey.
Hold on.
a consortium. I was going to say, I think it's the wrong word. Grab me a group of the worst things said on this show in the last couple of weeks. Is there going to be anything worse than what it is that Zaslow was lamenting at UFC on Saturday? Let's stand back here, and what Jeremy is trying to say is that Mike was at practice and he was 20 yards behind some teenagers breathing hot breath on their necks.
That's it.
This is how it came out.
He says the kids, and it just brought me back to your question of, do you like breathing hot air on the neck of teenagers?
Good
Woof,
start.
hot neck.
Good start.
All right, admittedly not my best.
He's three-time Emmy winner, Jeremy Taché.
He says the kids, and it just brought me back to your question of, do you like breathing hot air on the neck of teenagers?
Good
Woof,
start.
hot neck.
Good start.
Are we going to be this show now? Are we going to be this show now?
Are we going to be this show now?
I'm
We
just
already
saying.
are this show now against our will.
And you need to think long and hard if this is a direction you want this show to go in. I think we should be one that's an atmosphere that is a forgiving one.
Good start.
And allows people to power through.
Good start.
Because if we're going to be this show, there's going to be people that don't like how this plays out for them.
Good start. Dan, you were saying. Go ahead.
Tony, you tried by saying it's Easter.
It was Easter.
I said post-Easter.
No, that's not true. Orthodox family over here. Easter was on Sunday.
Well, there you go.
But it's Monday.
Yeah, it
Post-Easter.
It was Easter yesterday for many religions.
But it's Monday.
Yes, and yesterday was Easter Sunday. It's Easter. It's still the Easter season.
Exactly.
Rory was choking on day 3, but it's still the Masters season, and he stopped choking on day 4. The Cyclones, Zaslow.
They might be choking.
What's going on with them?
They might be choking.
Mike was so mad last week.
Yeah, bad form. Bad form. We haven't won a game in a month, and the playoffs are beginning next week. Final 2 games of the regular season. Your boy needs a point in both of these games against the Warriors. Parity has come to Battle Court in this new extended fronton, but also more feet to your fronton means Manu has to run a little bit more, which has proven to be a bad thing for the Cyclones.
He doesn't like
bad.
He doesn't like the new court, right?
No.
That'll be a good question to ask him during South Beach
your
session.
South Beach session.
See if I can get something that gets aggregated.
Open disdain. He hates this court. We're really struggling right now. We need to win both these games against the Warriors. First toss tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Stream it on ESPN and on YouTube. And then Friday, the regular season finale of the spring season of Battle Court. Come on out. The Jam Arena.
You're not expecting, though, you're defending champion, and the form you guys are showing here headed into the playoffs makes it sound like you're not enthusiastic, you're not giving off hope, you're telling people to go, but you feel a little bit broken.
I'm hopeful. I saw our team had a big-time practice over the weekend, players only meeting. The captain, leading, as he always does, decided to bring the troops together and see if we can turn this thing around. We're going to have to. All the teams are bunched up, but the Cyclones got off to such a great start. It's a little Rory Day 3 action right now, so we're hoping for Rory Day 4.
Zaz, how are you feeling headed into the playoffs here for the Miami Heat? Because you said last week they're not making the playoffs.
They're not.
Now they have to play Charlotte. Orlando choked. Did Orlando choke
That's
yesterday
a
at
joke.
Boston?
Joke franchise.
That's
an
a
absolute joke franchise, Dan. Did you see what happened?
Yes, I did.
For the people that didn't know, okay, Desmond Bain, who is kind of an Iron Man, played all 82 games. They check him into the game. He plays like nothing, like 5 minutes. They take him out. Orlando needs this win to get out of the play-in
They're
game.
playing 5 guys who started for Boston. You've never heard of them.
Baylor Shireman, good player. Mike, that's your boy, by the way, 37-7.
Yeah. I'm like, who's this guy? Exciting whites.
They have a bunch of them there. So they're losing. The Boston Celtics won a 30-8 run. All of a sudden, you see Desmond Bain at the end of the bench tying his shoes and stretching again. He hadn't played in 40 minutes of game time. They brought him back in. They ended up losing. Just a joke franchise. The entire thing is a clown show.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Are the Orlando Magic a joke choke clown show?
Glad you added the clown show at the end.
Joke choke clown show because they lost at Boston yesterday in a game that they were 13-point favorites in because they were playing their guys, and Boston wasn't even playing their bench. They were playing the portion of the bench that never plays. Like, it's not – it's the guys who get the last 3 minutes of the game and when they're winning by 40. That's it. And so for Orlando to lose that game when they came all the way back – They came all the way back, trailing all game, and then lost it in the last 50 seconds. And now their path is brutal when all of us – I'm not joking when I say that's one of the most disappointing teams in that entire league.
Yep. Orlando, you would have guessed, especially because Indiana we knew was going to be down this year. You thought Boston would be a little bit down. Orlando probably should have been a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference this year. And instead, because they lost yesterday, they could have jumped as high as 6 if they won, but instead, because they lost, they dropped to 8. So they have to play at Philadelphia in the play-in just to make the playoffs. But the Heat are not going to make the playoffs.
I can't believe the Hawks won this division. If you would have told me that a couple months ago, over Orlando, it's crazy. No, the good news is we get Knicks-Hawks now in an opening series. That should be really good. The bad news is we get Cavs-Raptors.
NBA TV series, here we come.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's more bad news than that. Bad news for the Eastern Conference. The Celtics started 5-7 and finished 51-19, and played most of those games without Jason Tatum. Like, it's going to be a problem.
Mazzulla should win Coach of the Year for what he did with this roster, because he had guys like Luke Garza, Ron Harper Jr., and Baylor Shireman, who all had more than 27 points.
I mean, 56 wins for the Celtics this year.